Mr. Prakash, thanks so much for joining us. Just to understand from you what you heard on the same, the likely execution of this. Anything you could share with us? Any more information that you have?
What I hear is that STC and PEC immediately action will be taken to shut down. As far as MMTC is concerned, because we have a lot of joint ventures, so we have to revamp immediately. We have already taken action to exit the unviable joint ventures in a phased manner. We have to close down offices which are unviable, and also the operations which are not giving us profits or which are not viable. So we have to, in the competitive scenario today, global competitive scenario, we have to definitely, being a trading company, we have to gear up and revamp our operations to make it more sort of profitable and business point of view.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, when do you see the shutdown actually taking place, Mr. Prakash?
Shutdown. The government has to take a call on that. Only what today for us MMTC is that we have to revamp our operations in the competitive world, and which we have already initiated. We have taken action to shut down 3 small offices which were unviable, and we have total about 20 offices. So we'll have to do it in a phased manner, and joint ventures also which are not profitable. So there also we are taking to exit those.
I didn't get that last point, Mr. Prakash. Could you give us a specific timeline as to when will this be executed?
As I said, the joint ventures, we have already taken action. The joint ventures which are loss-making or which are unviable. So for that, we have already initiated action. But it depends. There's a long process. We have to appoint valuers. We have to appoint merchant bankers. Then we'll have to go through that process. But the process is on as far as MMTC is concerned.
Right. As we understand, the government as of now owns about 90% stake in MMTC. Is there a plan at play to bring down the debt and maybe divest a little bit in MMTC, sir?
You know that as the SEBI guidelines, we have to come down to 25%. So another 15% has to be done. So for that, I believe that DIPAM has initiated action. But when it happens, I think it will take time. But for the time being, the process is put on hold.
And why is that? Because, like you also are rightly saying, this is a prerequisite. It has to be done.
It has to be done. Why is that? Because the DIPAM also has priorities and the government has priorities. So maybe the first priority is for other PSUs. They are doing it in a phased manner. So MMTC will also get its turn.
Do you have a timeline by which this disinvestment will take place?
No, we have not got any timeline from DIPAM as yet.
Okay. Any indication, Mr. Prakash, if the stake would be reduced more than 15%? Because, the chatter is that the government is actively, like you also mentioned, looking at disinvestment in a phased manner, like you just talked about. And, maybe the stake sale could be larger than 15%. And I also want you to highlight whether or not this is going to be via an open market route, or is it looking at a stake sale to another entity altogether, bordering on privatization?
The first thing is that for the time being, on the percentage of stake sale, what we hear is only 15%, but the government, if it decides that I'm not aware of any decision. And as far as the second issue of divestment, I think the decision has not been any. We have not heard anything on that. So I think government is yet to decide on that.
Okay. Also, Mr. Prakash, wanted to understand what is the amount of real estate that you have on your books right now? Would you have an accounted for figure?
I think some properties are leased properties, some properties are, the sort of a long-term agreement. So the valuation as such is difficult for the present.
Okay, but would you know as to how many acres or square feet of area and land parcels are you sitting on?
We have offices, properties, we have housing properties, residential properties, we have flats at different locations all over India. So, but as I said, they are in different locations and under different agreements and different allocations.
Prakash, what's the plan then for MMTC in terms of making it more profitable? As of March this year, consolidated debt was more than 900 crores. How do you plan to reduce that? Has there been any communication with lenders?
MMTC, I can say that today we are a zero debt company as far as the long-term debt is concerned. The 900 crores which you are mentioning is only a working capital loan which we borrow to do carry on our operation. But MMTC continues to be a zero debt company so far.
Mr. Prakash, but don't you think, all that land parcel that you're sitting on, I know it's a sizable sum and you haven't really jotted it down in terms of valuation to the T. But would it not make sense to really sell some of these land parcel perhaps and help it aid your working capital requirements?
As we revamp as I mentioned, as we revamp our operations, definitely the assets which we do not need, we will work out on that depending upon the board's decisions. What we need, of course, the offices and the residential, it has to be continued. Wherever we are closing the offices, we will try to dispose it of or divest depending upon the requirement.
Mr. Prakash, thanks for joining us this morning and taking us through that news. Okay.